Okay, so let's get everything started before we anyway. Alright, so Easy that dropped on the 25th. Well, dropped on the 25th. Yeah, dropped on the 25th. So the week of the 25th, we had that album drop by Logic, that song by Wiz Khalifa, and that song with 5 and then the Poodieville, the Poodieville song. What was it? 100 days, 100 nights. Okay, so let me get the stuff that we're worried about out the way. So let's get this Logic album out the way. Alright, let's get this Logic album out the way. So if anybody wants to see this, I'll put it right here. But this is good. I watched it on YouTube. Yeah, if you want to look at all the notes and everything. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the album. The album was cool. I liked most of the album. The ending was long, but it was speaking facts. So that's what happened, right? And then the introduction was just it was crazy. It was him speaking lyrical. Was it Hit My Line, and that was great. That was good. And then it was GP4, GP4, and he was talking about how the samples that he was saying, like T-Pain and Trina, and the samples were crazy. Like no one understood them, but the samples were great. And then we get the celebration with that surprise feature. I'm gonna say surprise feature because it wasn't listed as a feature when I looked at it. It's a surprise feature, and they were talking about, and they were talking about like the upper hand, and most people, most people want to tell you what you do and you can't do, which is great. And they had an open mic. Okay, so this is where it gets crazy. So we talk about the open mic session where, you see an open mic Logic, and I'm not the hugest Logic fan, so when I say this, they go to grain of salt. But you hear like that Eminem, like that. What was it? It wasn't. I'm not afraid. It wasn't. It might have been Mockingbird with the Eminem intro when they was at the when they was in like an AA meeting type of thing, right? It had that like type of vibe to it, so it was great. He's like Tango and E, and then he was talking about that. Right, so that was an okay opener. Okay, then we get to like the Soul Food second song, which was overall a great song. It was futuristic. It was it was saying like it had like a Kanye the graduation Kanye to it, and which was great. Perfect, as he says at the end. It was like a Ye and Master P based thing, which was great too. He was talking about the police, which was great. I liked it to the point where it was good. But no, unlike Soulful, you saw his lyricism, which you don't really see much in rappers now. Lyricism. The Man I Am had like an R&B vibe to it, which was a great song. I mean, it's arguably the top 4 songs on his album. On No Pressure, it's the top 4 album, but it has like an R&B vibe to it. So you hear like a rap introduction, and the rap introduction is good. But then you get into Man I Am, and you get like that R&B like swing, jazz swing with it. You hear like the trumpets in threes. If that makes sense. Like they're in threes, so it's and then they fade out. But it was great. Kind of just like growing up. He said RIP to a few people, and he was like relating how Cole, like I guess Cole was his idol, which was great. He did the same thing on 5 Hooks, and 5 Hooks was great too, because he mentioned stuff about J. Cole, and he mentioned stuff about and then stuff and Def Jam and how this and that, and his lyrics doesn't really show in these 2 songs alone. It's really just him talking his experience about being a dad, which is great. Most rappers don't really. Besides J. Cole, I don't really see much Future doing it, so it's refreshing to see that kind of experience being shown. And then him saying like Chance the Rapper on, what was it, like New Day, that album he put out, I forgot what it was called. And then Dark Place was like I want to say like a relaxing type of thing. And then Resume was good, and then Heard Him Say was like off of like a Ye album. I think it was I want to say it was like the Registration, where he's I heard him say, and it was like, hey mom, power, and he, most people say, I don't know what powerless, and he was saying when I heard him, yeah, he was like, you know, I didn't really major. He was just like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this, you can do that, and no one really knew what he meant. But nobody really knew what he meant. So you get a Ye, you're not really known to get into it. So you hear Ye, and it's just like, oh my god, yo, powerless and Ye, and I could have signed Ye and Def Jam, and then we could sign to a lot of people, which was great for him. Okay, so we got to the end of the album. Amen was good. The last part was 6 minutes long. It was good. I listened to like the 5-minute mark, but I just to speed everything up. I didn't really listen in depth with that and speeches like that. We get to these songs that I like 5 when he raps, but I just wasn't feeling copped out. It just wasn't my vibe. Still Wiz is just like, I don't want to say roll up, but it's more like when he was rapping like on my level. It's more like a fun, hyped up, like we them boys type of thing. I do like the Wiz, we them boys type of thing, but it's just, you listen to it for a while, you're just like, it's dope, I like it. Which is also very great because you get to hear like the vibes, and you get to hear like the vibe, the entertainment, and everything about it that they don't really mention. 100 Days, 100 Nights was great. I liked it. He and Poodieville. Oh, I should have said it that way. So Poodieville was talk. I feel like I messed up his name a little bit. I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say Ville because that's what he known in the song. He heard these songs and he was like, he was focused on the female more than his money, and it kind of messed him up, and that's understandable. And he's like, most people when they get to a certain point, they take like a bunch of L's just to take 1 win or 2 wins or 3 wins. They get to a low point, which is understandable because it happens, right? I think that's the main difference. But okay. So we have to get to this Cole thing, right? This J. Cole, 2 songs that was great. They were great songs for what they were. They were amazing songs. You they were. No, they weren't the catchiest when he was, taking shots at people. And just like 1985 when he came back and said like, people, youngest rappers' careers were over because they couldn't mature or couldn't write anything to fit with him, especially on the climb back up. I think you get like the warm up J. Cole. You get like the 20. You get like the For Your Eyes Only J. Cole, which is great. Which Logic did point out. He's in 2009, right? He said 2009. So when he said 2009 Cole, it was crazy because in 2009 I don't think it was the warm up. It might actually been a warm up. I'm a huge J. Cole fan, but I can't remember. Yeah, it's the warm up. I don't remember because I keep thinking it was Friday Night Lights, which Friday Night Lights was a good album. But no, you get to albums like. You get to albums on like the warm up, and you kind of hear like the rawness of J. Cole, right? But I think the climb back up was like after the jury, after everything, and he sat back and was like, I don't need a Grammy to validate me, or I don't need this to validate me. He was like, well, and if you don't call me to go, call me like Chief Keef, which, J. Cole to me is the GOAT. WP might not be, but to me he is. So, with his lyricism, his scheme, kind of his. It's like his metaphor to things. It's always been like, yo, that's crazy. J. Cole did this. Yo, J. Cole did that. Oh, J. Cole rapped on this beat. He did this when he dropped both of them. I got him, and I like it because he came at genius. He came at art. I want to say mumble rappers, but I don't want to say mumble rappers. But he kind of came back, and he should have been crowned for this because it's two singles, but they're great as two singles. This is what Wayne could have dropped, like Being Human by itself. It was great. It was great if he dropped two songs, but you kind of get like a J. Cole that's talking about family and stuff like that, and you got that on KOD, but most people didn't listen to KOD. It is like a KOD part 2. So this is like the tracks for the Fallout. I feel like it'll be on the KOD part 2, another KOD part 2, or For Your Eyes Only part 2, which both of those albums I would adore that. I just love them like crazy. But if that's the case, I'm gonna say if that's the case, I'm not really gonna sugarcoat it. It would be great if these albums were the way they were, but we don't know for a fact because we don't have an official release date for this album, and you kind of get hints and stuff like these J. Cole, these Logics, you get hints, and they're not like the most useful, but when you hear them, you're like, oh my god, wait, J. Cole's gonna drop this album, this. But he dropped two singles, which these two singles are amazing. You kind of hear like alter egos writing this, and it's great. It's something that like if you're like having a bad 2020, it'll probably kind of lift up your day a little bit because it's like a J. Cole like two song single, and then it's great that it released it as a single, but when I was checking charts earlier, he was the top 2. I'm not sure about now, but you kind of like see J. Cole when he is hungry. It's great. Like the album becomes great, the song becomes great, and they were produced by him. The beats were, I think it was. Give me a minute. Because I bought both. Give me a minute. So if memory serves me right, King of the Lion King of the Ice was like the youngest Simba that, I don't think from Friday Night Lights there's been a young Simba kind of like vibe to it, but you kind of get like that young Simba J. Cole, which when he's hungry, it is crazy. Taking shots at everybody in the rap game, which, you didn't expect from you didn't expect from J. Cole, which is also like a bonus, which is crazy, but, it's so crazy because you promote stuff and people are like, what are you talking about? Yo, you promote stuff, but you really kind of hear me when I talk about music. When people are like, yo, what are you interested in? When you talk about music, we talk about the trumpet, we talk about the bass, we talk about the 808s, and we talk about it all. And when you hear J. Cole's song and it flows, his beats are crazy, the wording is crazy, the wordplay is crazy, the lyricism is crazy. I love it. I love a hungry J. Cole. I love a hungry Logic. And I think, with the Lewis Street singles, I think I'm saying that right, the Lewis Street singles and the No Pressure album, just with him retiring, it's just like two legendary lyrical MCs. And I hope the fall off isn't J. Cole retiring. Because if it is, it'll be great. But I want that platinum with no singles, or that gold with no singles. So yeah, I know this was shorter than normal, but it's really precise. I really want to talk about the main two singles. So overall, I think I'm gonna give the The Logic album. The Logic album at 6.5. The J. Cole singles at 7. I love J. Cole. They're great. But I gotta wait for this a full album to come out for me to feel the whole effect of the album and all the pieces together, which I know are gonna be great, but 7. Because they're both great. There's not really any flaws. So I would say 10, but I feel like there's no flaws. But I gotta push it back because there's only 2 songs. So that's great. I mean, yeah. So I just kind of want to sit back here and just kind of have a deep conversation about these albums and the singles that came out. And I'm a huge Wiz fan, but Stay Wiz, and how we do it with like a Wiz Khalifa that you would want to hear in like 2006, 2009. Like he matured over the time, but it's like it's so weird for like a Wiz Khalifa to still, be like a hype song. It's a hype, like that's what it is. He made 2 hype songs, and that's great. If you still want to do hype songs in 2020, but it's not like you're going anywhere to hype songs up in 2020. But yeah. So 2 things. If you're listening to this on Spotify, well, hey, welcome. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're on Spotify and Apple Music, which is great. It's really great that it's on Spotify and Apple Music. But I don't have really much to say. But thanks, and I really hope you enjoy like the deep dive inception of like how I picture music. I guess don't really know if you have my opinion, but yeah. Stay tuned, man.